Hey, Warrior Saints, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Monday's episode of our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have all of you beautiful people in with us. For those who are on the Way of the Warrior Saint Challenge, don't forget to read a chapter. Tell us about one of the chapters, how it impacted you. What did you think? Post also the exercise that you do so we know you're staying healthy both in mind and body as well as soul. Welcome. Good to see all you beautiful people. Shout out to all of our Gab friends. I have scheduled a podcast conversation with our dear friend Andrew Horval, and we're going to record a pod on Monday the 29th, and he will put it out there to the world. It's his podcast, and so we're going to talk about one another's books. He wrote a tremendous text, A Soldier's Progress, which is his life story and his journey in Christ and in the gospel. And I'm going to talk about the Way of the Warrior Saint. We're going to just share some ideas and thoughts. It's kind of a fun, exciting idea. So look forward to that coming as well. We finished our conversation on Genesis, not because we finished the book, but because 2 weeks of Genesis, and we went through all the way, up to the heavens and the earth, and now the Toledot of Adam, and see how it plays out. And I thought this morning, well, what are we going to teach about this morning? I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I'll look at the liturgical and scriptural readings for today in the Orthodox Church. And sure enough, it's Cain and Abel. So we're going to give you one more day of Genesis, because I kind of blew over Cain and Abel because I wanted to get to Cain and Enoch. So with that being said, we're going to go backwards and we're going to read chapter 4. And in it, you hear of it's right after Adam and Eve were thrust out of the garden because they sinned and they dwelt east of Eden. And then there is a cherubim, an angel with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life, ultimately saying that because of man's sin, they have been cut off from the tree of life, and God has put them out of the garden. And Adam, here's the key, is to till the soil. He's going to be an earth man, like he works with his hands and tills the soil of the earth. And then it rolls right into chapter 4. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. Now, that's an interesting text, kana, right? In Hebrew, kana, which means gotten. So Cain and kana, it's the same name in Hebrew. But interesting to know that Eve was good enough to say, I have gotten a son, a man, with the help of the Lord. Whereas as soon as the Cain story rolls into his children, he will not acknowledge that. He will dedicate Enoch, his son, to the city life, which is exactly what we talked about last week. That being said, I've gotten a man with the help of the Lord. So at this point, Eve was, wise enough to recognize where it comes from. And again, she bore his brother Abel. Now, Abel was a keeper of the sheep and Cain a tiller of the ground, right? Okay, so we've got Cain, who is in Adam's place again, right? Do you see that? Abel, we'll talk about Abel in just a moment, is a keeper of the sheep. He's a shepherd. And Cain is a tiller of the ground. And if you remember from our conversations last week in Genesis, that there was Noah. They were supposed to be in the garden, this word Noah, which means relaxation or ease or comfort. It wasn't supposed to be an arduous life, right? And when Adam sinned, he was cast out of the garden and had to till the soil. The ground was cursed because of Adam's sin, and he would have to labor and fight. Listen again to the verse. And he said to Adam, God said to Adam, because you have listened to the voice of your wife and eaten of the tree of which I commanded you not to eat, cursed is the ground because of you, and in toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Right? No more relaxation and rest, no more nuach. Right? Now, jump ahead. Cain is also a tiller of the ground. Do you see it? So he is a retelling for us of Adam. So the first man made a mistake and had to suffer because of it. Now let's see what his offspring, his progeny is going to do. And Cain is also a tiller of the soil. So he's like parallel with his father Adam. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. So he's giving back a gift. Like, for Christians, we understand this is like a tithe. I am thankful and I'm going to return some of it. And Abel brought of the firstlings of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and his offering, he had no regard. So He was interested in Abel and not Cain. Now look, don't pontificate about why. Don't say it doesn't tell you anything why. You're going to see in a moment that's important. But like we can't say, well, God liked Abel's offering because he was a humble man. If you pay attention, Abel doesn't speak once in the Cain and Abel story. How do you know he's a humble man? I mean, can you know that? You know nothing about him. All you know is that he's in the story. He doesn't speak. He doesn't do anything. All he does is bring an offering, and God chose it over Cain's. All right. So Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. His face fell because, why was I not chosen and Abel was? And here, God is going to give Cain a chance. He's going to give him a warning and instructions, and he's going to say to him in advance, listen to the words. The Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you abide by my commandments, like your father Adam did not, will you not be accepted? What are you worried about, right? And if you do not do well, sin is couching at the door, its desire for you, but you must master it. You must rule over it. So God is giving Cain a chance. He's saying, look, if you do the right things and abide by my commandment, won't you be accepted? I mean, of course, but be careful. Sin is hiding at the door. It's around the corner, sneaking, waiting to get you. You gotta control it. Adam, your father, Eve, your mother, didn't. And now you're in this situation of having to fight with the soil, the ground, because of that. You are now being tested similarly. Master, control, take charge, rule over sin. Don't let it get you, because it got them and it made a mess. Don't let it get you, right? And then you hear this. Cain said to Abel, his brother, let us go out into the field. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. And you know the rest of the story. I'll read it quickly. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. I'm my brother's keeper. And the Lord said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying. Now, very quick, technical in Hebrew. Listen to this verse. And Cain said to Abel his brother, let us go out into the field. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. That sentence or that phrase, let us go out into the field, it doesn't exist in Hebrew. So it's not there in the original text. And that's important. I mean, logically, it helps the story flow. What it really says, listen, Cain said to Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. There's no, let us go out into the field. That phrase isn't in the original text. So what's that all about? And what is the point of the Cain and Abel story? And here it is. Just as Adam was given the opportunity to abide by God's commandments and find life, Cain is positioned, his son, with the same test. And he is so immediate in his reaction. That's the point. That's why there's no let us go out into the field. It's striking how quick it is, how fast Cain reacts. And what's fascinating is like Abel isn't even really an issue in the story. Like I said, he doesn't even talk, right? So first, Cain jumps on it quickly, like he doesn't even hesitate. So boom, already he's off. The second part of it is he was given this warning, right? Like, I mean, it's God said, look, sin is couching at the door. Master it. Get in charge of it. Don't let sin have rule over you. Be careful, right? And then it is the last part of it is that Abel is, so the name Abel from the Hebrew Hebel. Greg and I were talking about this. We've been studying it. It means breath in the sense of a fleeting breath, vanity. So for those who know scripture well, the Ecclesiastes, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. This is the word Hebel, the same name as Abel, which is to say his character really isn't of any value. It's not a valuable person. He's just a fleeting person, right? He's not important. He doesn't talk. We don't know anything about him, right? So he stands in the position of someone whom is just an any man, an any woman, just any person. And Cain attacked and crushed instead of nurturing. You see it. So the statement in the Cain and Abel story is to say, you're given another chance. And Eve told us you were gotten by the Lord with the help of the Lord. So there's value in you already, Cain. And you're put in a position, this land, You are also kind of like Adam, an earth man to till the soil. This other guy who represents the other half of humanity, the other half of the world, the shepherd in Abel, who's no one. He's a passing breath. You should care for him. Oh, you killed him. You see it? Like, in other words, the statement is that, as I've been saying all the way through, the Genesis story of sin it's repeated all the way through. And the very next character is Cain, and he immediately does it. He abandons God's commandments. So what that means for you and I is like, look, there is life to be found in the commandments of God and abiding by them. In fact, I would want to encourage you, again, forgive the shout out, but I said it very, very well yesterday, much better than I could today. But in becoming a man, what does it mean to be a man? And we see in my homily yesterday, we preached the difference between Adam and Christ and the abiding by the commandments of God. So if you can find it, Greg, I don't know if you can throw that that link, that YouTube link for the sermon up, but I would encourage you to watch it, because it's the message, it's the story that we are, there's life in God's commandments, and we saw Adam blunder, and now we've seen Cain blunder, and guess what? You're going to see the rest of them blunder until Jesus comes, right? So, and now the challenge for you and I, warrior saints, is when we're put in that situation of test to be Adam or Christ, obviously we want to choose to follow the way of the Lord and to be crucifixional. And in crucifixional living is how Jesus conquers where Adam failed. Watch that sermon. Greg's going to throw that link up there. And it was, forgive me, I don't mean to sound boastful about it, but I think I said it pretty well yesterday, better than I have the wherewithal to repeat it today. So with all of that being said, our job, our purpose is to be crucifixional. I mean, we have to be crucifixional. That's what God set us for. That's the task that he assigned to us. So we've got to give that effort. And you know what? We can't, I think as Americans, because we've been so blessed for so many years, we've become soft and feel entitled to things, and we just deserve, and it should be easy. And I think we've got to really grind and work hard for things and really put in the effort. The requisite effort to be a lion in the jungle. There's a lot of effort, and we've got the responsibility to put it in. We can't expect anything anymore and just sit back and wait. So anyways, I'm done pontificating on that. Remember, get the text. You can get it at warriorsaints.org. And its own page, warriorsaints.org/book. You can find it there. It'll take you right to Amazon. We appreciate all of those people who have already gotten the book and are joining us on the Warrior Saint Challenge. We love it. Remember, we're working on body and soul, body and mind. Read a chapter. Tell us what you think. Do some exercise. Post what you did. Let us know as we're grinding forward. So all of those people that have been involved, we're having fun with it. We appreciate it. We try to respond to every comment that we can. If we don't respond to one, it's only because there's so many, so forgive us for that. But we try to get them all if we can. Have a great day. We love you, beautiful people. Thanks for being with us. We will be back tomorrow, maybe with more Genesis, maybe not. But either way, we will be back. As always, teaching. Visit us at warriorsaints.org. Get that book. Get on the way of the Warrior Saint. Until tomorrow, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.